What is up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given up by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I host the only online conversation in the globe, in the world, for dads and fathers, which is co-sponsored by Dove Men Care and co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And through that collaboration, as part of that team, was blessed to be part of reaching out to over 100,000 fathers around the world last year. So I'm really humbled about that. It's Monday morning, January 24th. It's cold in Toronto, but it's January. So I guess they told me it's supposed to be cold in the city. But we're here, and look who has shown up. That I was told to refer to him as the knight in shining armor. Hello, Mr. Knight. How are you?
Hey, I am very good. That used to be a tagline for Detailing Nights when we first started.
What
Your
happened
knight
to
in
it?
shining armor.
What happened to it?
Armor. We just evolved. it comes in and out. But yeah, for those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Knight. I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, helping figure out what stage they're in today and helping them grow their companies exponentially. As I was mentioning, I'm an entrepreneur with the company Detailing Nights. We do mobile waterless car cleaning, so going to people's houses and their offices to clean their cars on the spot without any water, and our eco-friendly plant-based cleaning supplies. And Dr. Vibe, I don't know if you heard, but Elsa from Frozen got arrested because of that snowstorm that hit in January. The Minneapolis police did a joke about arresting Elsa for bringing the snow. But more snow is supposed to be coming today, so clearly she broke free.
Oh my goodness. Well, not going to come up with police and what they do. That's a whole other conversation.
And I was like, don't actually put her in handcuffs, but it was all in good fun. I hope everybody could take the joke, but yeah.
Good stuff. And how you been since Friday? What's been going on?
Yeah, things have been good. Pushing forward. We have the Legacy Symposium happening in February.
Yes,
so
it's coming
getting it out to our partners, letting the entrepreneurs know, hey, if you're ready to grow your business and want to take some time to work on your business, not just in it, these 2 days would be definitely beneficial for you. But yeah, looking forward. Definitely, I'm going to be there as a participant to work on my business.
Hold on, you're making it like you're choosing to be there.
Oh, well, I can be there and observe, but no, I'm going to have my pen and paper and pencil and doing some work. Yeah.
Good stuff. And just to tell everyone right from the front end, because we have a jam-packed conversation, like the conversations are getting more jam-packed these days. We're going to say it right at the front end. Mm-hmm. If you would like to get or qualify for a $25 Amazon gift card or I can't find it. It should be. Here we go. These things are just things are all over the day.
We have to reach out to Frequency. Where's my copy? I should be able to hold up one too.
And plus, they want an Amazon gift card from you, and they haven't given you a calendar. You see that, right? But yes, Frequency event promotions calendar featuring Black businesses. Please put in #TheMorningVibe in the comments section. and you will
Yes.
qualify for winning one of those prizes. Now, that's not the only reason you should be here, and especially today.
True.
There's a special reason for everybody to be here today, and we have reoccurring friends coming on a periodic basis, and these two, I'm going to say, young ladies were on a little while back, and they rock the house, and plus they're doing stuff that is really beneficial, especially when it comes to real estate and wealth creation and wealth legacy. And they're doing something really special next month. What's next month? February's next. What's going on next? What's the big thing going on next month, right?
Hey,
other than the legacy, symposium.
That's our annual Black History Month event. So yeah, a lot of different.
So we are blessed and highly favored to have Kemba and Andrea Williams of Kean Real Estate on with us today, and everyone, we're actually broadcasting to their Facebook page too. So everyone from their Facebook page, yes, you are watching them live. Well, if you're watching it live right now, or you're going to watch on replay, they are with us. We love them. I think they like us.
They tolerate us for now. We're working on that.
They tolerate, and they're here just to talk about what they do, but also talk about a big event that's coming up next month. So first things first, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning. How are we doing?
Fantastic. It's Amazing Monday. I'm happy to be here too. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to have you both on. And let's get right to it, because I know your time is very precious, because I know there's homeschooling, there's things going on. So, or school. Are they back at school today?
Sometimes. Today is a PD in our area. They're off. It's a professional day.
And for me, they should be back at school, but everybody's not well, so they're not back at school. So there you go.
All right. So we're going to be cognizant of your time, because I know you've got other things going on. So for our followers or people who haven't met you before, can you give a little background about Kean Real Estate Group?
Okay, well, as you said, we're Andrea and Kemba, and what we do is we have built a real estate portfolio of our own and built our company around, what we've discovered and learned over the years in real estate to build wealth for ourselves and our family. And so our goal, through an education approach and offering various services that we've done ourselves within our real estate business, we offer those services like tenant placement, like helping you consult on improving the value of your property, either to generate more income or to turn it around and sell and earn more. Kemba, you maybe can add some of that as well.
No, that's exactly it. Helping people to either learn how to get into owning real estate, because ownership helps to, that wealth building and having those assets helps you in so many areas of your life. We help to show people how to do that. And as well, if you're getting into real estate, you have a busy job and you maybe don't have the time to manage when you go into owning, say, investment property. We also help you with management, like by tenanting or property management. So lots of things. But I think we're here today to talk about a specific event that we're having, and that's the Building Generational Wealth Through Real Estate series that we're having coming up in February. And
it's also annual, like your Legacy Symposium. It's also annual. So this is our second annual event. And it was very successful last year. Hence, we know that people want and need it, especially within the Black community. And so we have endeavored to offer it again this year with some improvements.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did this event come about?
Well, we participated in lots of training and educational events ourselves, just to learn to get to where we got to, we didn't sort of do it in isolation. We learned from others and so on. In those rooms, though, we don't see a lot of people like ourselves who are going out there, who are, either paying for or having the conversation about wealth. And so we said, this is needed. And obviously, I think it's, the month picking February is a month where it's top of mind for people. Like, what are we doing? We see the stats as well on every time we do this, we talk about, where are we at in terms of that stat. And we want to be able to move the needle from where it is. Like when we look at the 2016 census, we're seeing 20% ownership among the Black community, 23%, 24% in that, range, whereas there are other communities that are up at 70%, ownership. And that's a huge, huge gap.
Yeah,
and so
we need to close that gap in. So, and what Kemba means is she and I both have been in many rooms where we walk in and the dominant, color, is white or otherwise, other ethnic groups. And we don't see either a lot of Black women in real estate and in those rooms. And absolutely, we don't see other Black men either. So we tend to feel that we're being left out of those rooms. Sometimes, I mean, to be honest, Kemba, a lot of those rooms, they were expensive to get into. They cost a lot. And so we've also brought to the Black community an event that doesn't cost. It's free, which makes a huge difference because knowledge to gain it oftentimes is very expensive. And we know that real estate is in itself is expensive. So we're trying to find more cost-effective ways to help our community and, of course, to learn from experience, which we know we've gained over the years ourselves. So,
yeah. And I was curious if you can give maybe a mini overview of what people could expect. Now, if they sign up, they're getting, is it every week? So it's 4 sessions in total. And what should they be expecting to learn from the series?
Yeah, and it's good. We definitely have, you can come to one or all 4. Ideally, all 4 will give you the whole, the breadth of what we're trying to offer. We start out with mindset and, goal setting and making change, which we know is essential in any aspect of your life, right? When you're trying to build wealth and be successful. And then we continue on to just talking in our second session on income, credit, capital, and the significance of all of those aspects of becoming financially worthy or approvable through a financial institution. To next step is third series, part of the series focuses on how we partner with individuals such as realtors, mortgage brokers, and the like to ensure your success. Because it's definitely not Kemba and I doing it alone. We have a lot of team members in other expert industries or specialized industries that support our teachings.
Right.
And then finally, we end in the last session with showing people locations and taking action. So we know that GTA, Toronto area is quite expensive. So we're going to show them more affordable and cost-effective, ways to get into real estate so that they don't keep that, negative mindset that, oh, I can't do it, it's too expensive, and or I can't take action in 2022, because you absolutely can take action in 2022 if you align yourself with all the right people and, of course, in the right markets.
For sure.
I'm sorry, I gave the whole agenda.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I want to ask, like, the story behind how the course became a reality. How did it happen? Like, who came up with the idea? How much brainstorming? And how much time was it from the idea thought to it becoming reality?
I don't think we can take complete credit for it. Can we, Kemba? We have a communication specialist in our within our company as well. And she knows who we are. She sees who Kemba and I are as women. And a lot of what we wanted to do was make sure that, as I said, we provide education to the Black community, to immigrants and minorities that doesn't cost, right? So that they can have access. But maybe Kemba, you can expand on it a little bit more, because I believe Christina was absolutely a part of this.
Yes. We have regular meetings, and that was one of the ideas that came up, and we said, yeah, absolutely, that makes sense for us to do that. And last year, I think, we started planning maybe in
2020.
Yeah, the end of 2020.
Yeah.
And, because February comes on you quickly, right? You can't sort of start an event. And it a lot of people were interested. I think we had 150 registrants, for that event. And so it was good. People were really had a lot of questions. Sometimes you're surprised at where people are at. Questions on credit, questions on income, and we were talking and sharing a lot of information. I think what we learned at that session last year was that maybe a lot of information is not always what people need, but they also need the stories of how, like the behind the scenes, the how did you make it happen? And so this year we're aiming to make sure that we share the story so that people understand, real estate looks like it's easy sometimes, when you actually people are wealthy and they own a lot of property and so on. It seems like, wow, this has always been what they've done, and there's no way for me to get in. Like I can't really see how I can get in. And so this year we really want to talk about, ways that you can think about yourself being an owner. How do you put that plan into action? How do you get yourself to the place where it's actually possible for you? And then how do you get going? Like, just do it. Like, making that first offer might seem like, wow, I can't do it. But you make the offer and you see what happens. And then you learn from that offer if it doesn't succeed, right? And then you go from there.
Yeah, and the title itself, Building Generational Wealth, I mean, Kemba and I were already focused on doing that for ourselves and our family. And so we know that it's not customary. I'm not expecting an inheritance. Kemba, I don't believe you are either. We come from, much simpler beginnings, where, for me, especially, I know from Jamaica, my family didn't own. And so changing that for my own self and my kids, and even improving my life enough that I can, offer and take care of my mom or my mother-in-law. That was also a big part of why we titled it Building Generational Wealth.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can say that, definitely my dad, was a businessman himself. He does own property, and there are conversations that I love to have with my parents, and just sort of what happens next, and how do we do this, and what do you want from me, how do you want me to handle things for you, and so on. These are conversations that we should be having as a community to help each other to know. And so that's how you transfer generational wealth. One, you teach the next generation, but you also give them the resources that you have to help them start at a different place than you started. And so it's just ensuring that we're continuing to talk about, how do you do that? Make sure that, you think of people like Prince and Aretha and well-known people.
Aretha Franklin, dying without a will.
Yeah, and so, I'm not sure how her estate has sort of
how it's played out,
how it's going.
Well, the happiest person is the government in those situations, right?
Sure. Yes. So and ceased, and it's held up for forever and ever and ever, right?
The government and the lawyers.
The government and the lawyers. And so to avoid that, if we talk about one, acquisition of assets, and acquisition and becoming, making ownership part of our story, not making it we're not necessarily the people who own real estate, who own property. If we talk more about how do we become owners, then then we talk about how do we make sure that we transfer that ownership and share that ownership and build off of that, and continue to grow as a community, because it helps, when you think about what ownership does to a community, it changes the perspective. You want to take care of things, you live in a better environment because you own it. There's so many different factors that impact
So there's comments here that era cover, because it says facts, Macmillan Group, good morning, everyone. Great point, Kemba. Estate planning is critical in the Black community.
Yes.
Speaking of which, and I think you mentioned it's part of your course, how much of time do you spend or need to spend when it comes to mindset change? Because I have a thought here that many people who come to the course and also come to you as clients for the first time, there's some mindset alteration to some of them that needs to happen. Do you want to share a little bit about that with our audience?
Andrea, do you want to take that one?
Absolutely, I don't mind. We know from our own training and our own experience starting out, and I absolutely believe for the most part on almost every day I have a pretty good mindset. And however, any book that I ever read, any coaching or mentorship program that I've ever participated in has always begun with mindset as the core, right? And making sure that we understand how we need to think, how we need to see things, and maybe making changes and shifting where we are and where we're thinking, or what we're thinking and where we need to go. And so anything that we've ever designed, for myself and Kemba, we've always begun at that starting point where let's look at where you're at and how you think and how you perceive, your ability to build wealth, to acquire or have success and acquire a property.
Yeah. And can I add a personal story to that? And that's kind of how, so when I started in buying real estate, I partnered, I bought a triplex and that was my first. But the gap between the first and the second was close to 10 years because during that time I was thinking, wow, I have a full-time job. I kept thinking, oh, I can't, I don't know, I'm not sure, and then when I think of maybe some of the information that I got at that 10-year point in that window, it was like, wow, I wish I had known that, 9.5 years ago, because
exactly
it changed how I thought about what I could achieve and what I could do, and then I went for it, right? And so just knowing what I know now would have helped me so much more back then, and still, even knowing it 10 years, I've been able to use that information and grow from there. But I feel like if we are able to sort of share the information, a lot of people maybe who are thinking, I can't, I don't know how, I don't have the right support system, I don't have the pieces that I need, I think the possibilities would be much greater. And maybe even seeing, a woman like myself, a woman like Andrea, these women can do it.
Of course they can. They're strong Black women. Come on now.
But it's true. But still, seeing someone like yourself, it makes a difference to say, maybe I can own property. I can own a real estate portfolio. I can do this. I can really do this. So I think having that conversation is really important.
Well,
mindset is not just Dr. Vibe.
No.
It's also what we want to make sure that as we're learning ourselves and making the changes, and we've done it. I mean, I have children. I have all girls. I have 3 girls, and two of them are at the age where one is 18, the other is 28. They're young adults. So they actually have, I want to be that inspiration and that, mentor for them as well. And so, like Kemba said, we want to transfer the information, not just to the adults who may have access to income and money and credit, but also to the next generation, our children. And so it's important that we include them in that process and make sure that they're part of the change and have the right mindset, because we're absolutely trying to create multi-million-dollar portfolio.
You're going to. It's a done deal.
It's in process.
It's a done deal. Yeah. And I just want to correct something because I know some people may offend saying strong Black women. Let me correct to say great Black women. Let me put it that way. Great Black women. Because some people, that's strong Black women stereotype. So I'm going to correct myself. Great Black women.
And I was curious because I've heard a couple themes happening as you were both talking, and it really stems around conversation. So what, in your opinion, could we start to do to spark that conversation at home, even before we jump into investment real estate, but just talking about why it's so important. And Kemba, you mentioned like the conversations with your dad. So what could parents like myself do to start having those conversations more at the dinner table?
You pick a topic and sometimes too, when kids ask questions, I think that don't shy away from answering it. My son is 5, just turned 6, actually. He's 6. and he asked me questions about like things that you may not think a kid is interested in, but mommy, how much did you buy this house for?
Mm-hmm.
Or and you think to yourself, like, I think sometimes in the past maybe you think, that's none of your business, kid.
Yes.
You might say something like that, which is dismissive or like really, belittling the question. So it sort of says to him, that's not your information that you need to have. But at 5 or 6, if you say, hey, I've paid, $100,000 for this house, 100,000, that sounds like a lot. Or I paid $1 million for this house. And then you talk through that process of, how did you come by $1 million? Are you rich, mommy? No.
Right.
But we talk through what it means to, get that. Well, I got a loan from the bank. Even these little things, if you have a straight conversation with young people, like as young as 5 or 6, sometimes they might run off and go play and be like, I don't care. You give me
and you think that it had no impact on them, but it absolutely does. Like they do. They're registering the information.
So I think we now, one of our supporters has a title for both you now. The new title is
I love it. Queen.
The Queens of Real Estate.
That's
I love that. And both of you are doing something that I've learned now over the last 2 years, that I believe that every child, especially every Black child, before they're 10 years old, should know about real estate and ownership, should have some stocks bought for them by their parent or caregiver, and at least knowledge of their own business.
Yes. And talk to them about it too, right? Dr. Vibe, you're making sure that they're part of the conversations and that they're starting to understand. I've been on, Stacey Brown has a program called Kidonomics, and I've gone on there to share, how to buy your first home with children between the ages of 11 and 13. And you'd be amazed at the questions that they're asking at that age. And I myself have a 9-year-old who is consistently asking questions and want to be a part of the process. Yesterday, I was showing her in the background of my website what sort of things she can do to help me, because she's very interested. So these young kids, they're very, very much interested in learning what you think is typically adult conversations or adult information.
Well, they're curious.
They're absolutely curious. So I was working on a presentation that we have this investment opportunity, and working on a presentation, and my daughter just saw it open, and she came and she started adding her own, thing and changing it up. And then I got her on a video. So I may even just share that as a little blooper, because I'm not going to do the whole thing, but she came and she sat in and she was trying to introduce herself, and she was starting to participate. And my son actually recently, I'm going to show you something. So he drew this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said to me, Mommy, that's going to be the logo for my company.
Okay. Yes.
He just like,
that's a win.
They are seeing and hearing and knowing what Kemba and I have been doing. And we've had family meetings about our business and about what we're doing, myself and Kemba. So Ryan, when you ask, how do you have those conversations? Just like, plan it, sit at the dinner table, plan a Saturday evening or Friday evening and chat with them, because we've had our husbands there, we've had our daughters and kids, and sometimes we're just asking them for input and advice, or sharing with them what we're doing. And we don't always accept all their advice, right?
No, but you're having the conversation.
But we're having a conversation.
It's part of the family dynamic, not only now but for generations to come. And I say to people, we have baby showers. Why don't we have wealth showers?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, the kids and our husbands are helping in very different ways. Sometimes it's creative, some of what they come up with. Like, thank you, Carver, for sharing with us your future business logo. Maybe he can help us redesign ours.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm speaking that Brian and I will be around when that business launches, so we can interview him and say, okay, generational conversations.
Yes, it's for sure going to happen.
Look at this, and there is a request here. Can you help my organization, the International Afro Society, design a curriculum for real estate teaching that we can teach our youth? Well,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying here is contact them both. Here's the website address, and go to the contact us. We would love to see that happen. So those are the things you'd like to cultivate in conversation, building wealth, generational wealth. That is fantastic. So we are going to be keeping an eye on you, George, to see that you keep your promise.
Yes. We look forward to connecting with you.
Actually, you know what? And Kemba is actually giving her email address, so I'm going to put it up on the screen. Ryan, any more questions or comments? Because I know both these great Black women have things to get to before we let them go. So any more comments?
Well, I'm curious now. I got to change my approach. I'm dealing with queens. So, but really for me, it's like talking to other people in the community about investment real estate. When you're initially talking with somebody that's very new, doesn't have the mindset yet, before they jump into the curriculum, what are some things that they could do to start prepping? Because again, you guys are doing a series that's 4 weeks. You might not be able to get everything you want done in those 4 weeks. So what could people be doing to prepare to actually come into it properly?
The free series, I think, is a starter, right? The free series is not meant to have any
prerequisite per
prerequisites,
se.
Yeah. So
we do encourage people, if they're really serious in 2022 to get started, like we're sending out tips each week for those that get registered. We're giving them tips and strategies that we ourselves feel can be beneficial. So obviously documentation and gathering that type of information that is beneficial when you go to get approval, or even coming with your questions, maybe even sending them to us in advance. So in the registration, we are asking them, we even ask in the registration, what does generational wealth mean to you? And, how, or what is it that you're hoping to get out of this session? Because then we can come better prepared to help answer some of that and deal with some of that information that may not necessarily come directly through our presentation, but indirectly we can offer that.
Well, yeah, people got to come curious.
Yeah, but are there things that you see culturally dealing with our community that are unique when dealing and talking with real estate and investing and generational wealth? I'm curious the kind of conversations that you've been having, if you're seeing any interesting types of topics or resistance to what you're teaching.
I think one of the things that we always say is that we have to partner a lot to be able to get anywhere with real estate. Sometimes even on your first property, partnering is important. And I think building wealth as a community is important. You have to start to sort of learn who you can trust and start to trust more, and the more you have conversations, the more you build relationships. By no means do we suggest you just go out there and do, random agreements with random people. But at the same time, one of the pillars to build wealth, what is it we say, Andrea? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's not my quote, but we do use that because of the fact that it's not something we generally do well, where we sort of come together and partner and collaborate. But definitely, because of the challenges of getting into real estate, that's one of the things that mindset wise and just, how it's done and stuff like that, having that conversation about how to come together and say, buy a property together or that sort of thing.
And starting as a family or starting with the people that you know well within either your friendship circle, your circle of your family. That's a great place to begin. And we're not, like Kemba said, we're not saying go out there and just do it with anyone, but we do help align people with people that we've identified as individuals that might be good partners as well. So we do help construct joint venture partnerships and use the proper documentation, because whether you're doing it with friends, family, or, independent individuals out there that you have been referred to, you should always have the agreements, to back you up, to have the lawyer make sure that those agreements can stand the scenario, the relationship that you're building.
Yeah. But I was curious, what types of partnerships have you seen? Is it people partnering to get a down payment? Is it people actually living together? Just maybe people investing and saying like, hey, we want to get a return. I'm curious.
I think the most resistance I've seen is the living together one, because
especially in our community.
People don't like to share space at all as much as maybe say other communities would be willing to, and so I think that is one of the challenges.
It's interesting you say that, because that is the total opposite of our heritage, because African heritage is communal.
Yes.
And it's interesting. Right. And there's a book I read, like actually one of the most influential books I ever read in my life, called Black Men, Obsolete, Single, and Dangerous. And it was written back in the 1990s. And one of the key things I learned from that book is that African Black heritage is communal, North American, European heritage is individual. So why are we trying to do a round peg into a square hole?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe we'll have to include that in some of our
no problem.
Because it really is much more powerful when we do it as a community. And we're not even proposing that you live in necessarily the same space. You can buy a multi-unit home, or you can buy an apartment building, or duplex, whatever, and sort of, like we said, reduce the experience, like make the experience much more beneficial and powerful, because now you're combining assets or income or capital. And so Kemba did it on her first purchase, and it was a success for her, right? So I think that we have some experience of our own that shows
there you go.
It can be very successful.
Even if you're sort of renting a 2-bedroom apartment and you don't need both bedrooms,
and you're single,
have a roommate, that helps you save, that helps you, build your down payment if you can, because you're splitting everything in half, right, as much as possible. So
before we let you leave, do you have time for a question from the audience? It's a good question.
Absolutely, sure.
All right, George, we're watching you, because you better email Kemba, okay? He's asking, what are the 3 biggest obstacles in our community that is preventing us from doing well in real estate and wealth building space, in your opinion?
I would say,
I think credit, Kemba. I think just the reason why we covered a lot of credit and we built a whole program last year. Credit is your superpower. Credit is one of the the pillars of real estate and probably of your adult life. And so that's one of the areas that we've seen consistently, that people have either bruised their credit over time. That's one thing that holds them back.
And that leads into access to capital, right? So if you don't have the access to the capital, which credit is like a ticket that you can use, one of the tickets you can use to get access to capital. And access to capital means an access to a loan for a down payment, access to a mortgage, access to a
maybe even qualifying some of the government programs that are available that offer capital towards your down payment.
Yeah. So credit is not necessarily, in and of itself, but it's what it gives you access to. And so that the access to capital is a challenge. And
I think lack of knowledge, we don't have enough knowledge.
Yeah, we're not taught this in school, let alone we're not taught mostly in our families. So
in our families,
I hear that
absolutely also. It's not in school. I was a former school teacher. It's not in the curriculum. You have to put it in as either a high school teacher, elementary school teacher. It's not there. It's not part of the mandate. However, it's not taught at home either. And a lot of our conversations, Ryan, you can acknowledge and agree, it doesn't start at the kitchen table or the dinner table where we chat about finances and money. It just doesn't happen. And we need to change that discourse so that we can have more of our children being familiar and knowledgeable with what the language and the education that they need to buy and own real estate or become owners of businesses. And not just push, getting a good education. A good education is important, but you need to have, a good mindset and a strong understanding of how to be successful in many ways.
And although he just asked for 3, I think there are other things too, like where we think of, generationally, you don't have the leg up. And so we're starting from a different starting point. And so it's harder to get in. It's harder.
And economically too.
Yeah. And so, from an income standpoint, maybe, if we, for generations, haven't made, say, the same incomes and so on. So there's layers of it. But now that we're where we're at, let's take our starting point and go from there and just, get the knowledge we need, start getting access to the capital through, using the tools that we do have at our disposal and try to, use what we have.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We have a great audience, as usual here. George is saying we are communal by our culture. We should revisit that. Okay,
Yes.
We'll take that as a suggestion. Macmillan Group is saying, I have been suggesting multifamily approach to Afro-Caribbean clients for decades, but the pushback has always been tremendous. Also saying credit gives you the power of leverage. I love that term, power of leverage, which is critical to successful real estate investing. Absolutely. And then another, Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine. Is real estate opportunities only available to citizens? I don't know exactly.
Citizens of
Canada, you mean?
Yeah, you have to be more clear about
Do you have to
that
be a
question.
Canadian citizen?
No, you don't.
No, there's a lot of foreign investors.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what's causing one of the reasons why prices are so high, right?
Exactly.
Right? It's
Yeah.
probably more people who are not citizens that are causing the increases of pricing for residents than those who are citizens.
That's right. Yeah, because some people that are foreign investors, they're coming from markets where it's much higher and expensive than it is in Toronto. And so, they bring in a lot of cash, a lot of capital.
But there's also opportunities to invest your capital in other countries where you can do that. I mean, I think even one of the viewers, Macmillan Group, there's ways to help with that too. So if you have capital and there's places you can invest to get a return. And maybe we're getting a little more advanced in our, our conversation, but that's still stuff you can do, which is, invest somewhere else to earn a return. So, and I totally agree with him. Multifamily is the place to go.
Absolutely.
If you can find those properties, and multifamily investing is a wonderful.
It's a way to come together in a partnership or group investment. Right, as a family or a group of individuals.
Yeah. Talk to Ray. Talk to
Ray. Yes, so that's Ray's specialty. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So definitely, Ryan. Any final comments before we let go? The queens of real estate.
Listen, not from me. I'm ready for the class.
I'm
ready for the series. Class. I got my ticket. I'm ready to sit and learn. I got my notepad and pen ready.
Awesome.
Excellent. Any final comments, ladies, you have before we let you go?
No, register for the generational wealth through real estate, building generational wealth through real estate. The Eventbrite link is there. We would love to see you. We would love to help you. We would love to see that you start or continue growing in real estate. And so, we look forward to your success.
We look forward to that.
Yeah. So when you click on the Eventbrite link, that's what page should come up for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dr. Vibe and Ryan, I also wanted to say thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it and having the opportunity to have the conversation. So thank you.
Well, You know what? Queens, you're fantastic. I love the conversation.
We'll never decline the queens. We are at your service. Night ready for service.
Yes.
Oh,
Queens and the Knights.
geez. Well, sorry,
Yes.
I don't have any royalty in my name, so sorry. I'm left out. The bald guy's left out. The people with the hair.
You're the doctor. You're the.
Exactly. I was gonna say you're the doctor, though. So.
Well, and so Ray is saying, if you're not familiar with the name Iggy Kenneth, you should. He has an amazing story of perseverance in creating significant wealth in real estate.
Okay.
Christopher saying wealth of knowledge. Make a fan club, make it happen show, saying good show.
Yes, awesome.
Sweet.
I will make everything possible to be. I may have. Well, all right. Angie says, I have already registered. Thank you, Queens. I think so. Now, when you're coming on all the time, now we're just going to introduce you as
well, let's do it together. We can only change the historical stats and data together, and so I think this is fantastic.
The Queens. And it's funny because on NPR, National Public Radio, about once every month they have these two ladies come on, and they call them the money ladies. So now we have, you know what? I follow one of them, and actually she's a finance person for the Washington Post.
Wow.
Okay.
And has been doing that for at least 20 years.
Wow.
So you know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to try and see if we can get her and have the Queens of Real Estate and one of the money ladies and let them on together one morning.
We're the Queens of Real Estate.
Cool.
You know,
King and Queen is not that far off, so we
but have all of you on together and just have all you talk about wealth, credit, all that sort of stuff, and like just do it all together. So you know what? Thank you so much for everything you have done, will be doing, and going to be doing in the future. Have a great day. Stay safe, and remember to give yourselves grace.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Vibe and Ryan. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, the Queens of Real Estate.
I love it.
I love it.
That segment, Queens of Real Estate, once a month. We'll see if they're interested. I love that.
If they're up for it,
I'd
love to know. And you know what? This is what I love. We are so blessed to have a good audience, because I would have never thought about giving them a name like that. But I'm speaking if they're going to start using that in their branding.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, that would definitely catch on. I love it.
If they use that in their branding, I think that would be absolutely fantastic to use in their branding. But yeah, great conversation, everyone, today. Like, I mean it. Like, this is what I get jacked up about, you know, when the conversation is driven by the audience. Great participation, great knowledge, education, informative, entertaining, enlightening, all those things wrapped up into one. So, you know, this is good. Ray is saying, great show, everyone, very informative. And that's coming from a gentleman who's been in the real estate game since 1999 internationally. All right. He's been it internationally. So that's fantastic. Ryan, man, that was good. That was a good way to start a Monday, man. Good way to start a Monday.
Absolutely.
You know, now for people, we're still doing giveaways. Folks.
Yep.
We still got to do that. So let's give a few moments. So again, if you would like to win $25 Amazon gift card and a frequency promotions event calendar, calendar. We don't have too many people today, so you have a good chance of winning. I'm keeping up the information about the Generational Wealth series on the screen. So if you watched on replay, you'll be able to get that information right throughout. So we have some people that have clicked in. And actually, I'm going to do, while people are registering to win, I'm going to add another new feature with we'll do a little background music as people fill out their entries.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
All right, so get your hashtag, The Morning Vibe, in. All right, I see some people put in great. Yeah.
The odds are in your favor.
Yeah. So we have another new feature here now on The Morning Vibe. When we're doing our giveaways, you know, just like that Jeopardy music for Final Jeopardy.
Yes.
All right, and when you put in, okay, Angie got it right. She put in hashtag the Dr. Vibe Show. No, hashtag the morning vibe. All right.
Nice.
This is beautiful. So yeah, the queens of real estate. Yes, I love it. I'm so fired up with that. That's so good. All right, so we're gonna give another minute or so for people to put in hashtag the morning vibe, and we're gonna start doing giveaways. What do you think of the music, Ryan?
Yeah, I like the vibe.
Yeah, man. Vibe music. Vibe music. Morning vibe music.
Yes.
So what do you have coming up this week?
This week, yeah, still pushing for the symposium. Definitely have some accounting and tax stuff to get done since the year is now over, and gotta reflect and send out T4s, HST filing, all the fun stuff admin wise. So that's what this week will be full of.
All right. Good stuff.
How about you? Any interesting conversations happening?
Don't have anything scheduled, and people have to realize when I don't have any new conversations booked, I do 4 a week. So I do the morning vibe Monday and Friday mornings. Black Canada Talking Sunday afternoon. Had a great conversation, by the way, with Dr. Lisa Gunderson yesterday who's on Vancouver Island, talking about the being involved in politics and how she declined a nomination from the Green Party, but she is vice president of the Green Party. But she gave the background of being a political candidate from a Black perspective. Really, so check out that replay on the Dr. Vibe Show, either Facebook or YouTube. Subscribe. If you can subscribe to the show, whether it's on my platforms on Facebook or YouTube, or the ACBN Facebook page. We're both on Twitch also. And again, this was also broadcast to the Kean Group Facebook page. So, new audience. So, not only subscribe to their Facebook page, but subscribe to our pages. All right. So, let's get the party started. Let's do giveaway time. All right, let's do it. Let's put up the screen. Let me put this down first. All right, let's get up the giveaways. All right, it's time to give away. So what do you want to do first, Ryan?
Hey, we'll end off with the calendar. I think that's
okay. Calendar first. Here we go.
I got my money on Angie. Oh, George comes through. Oh.
So George, you have won the calendar.
Nice. All right.
Okay, so George, what you need to do, and let me just put it up here. I'll give you the email address. Okay. So George, you need to email the address that's in the screen right here, info@Frequency Event Promotions. Say Monday or January 24th winter calendar, and Frequency Event Promotions will get in contact with you. All right. And we're going to keep the music going, by the way. And now this is for the gift card.
My money's on Angie again.
Make it happen show.
All
Wonderful.
Right.
So make it happen show. If you want to get your gift card from $25 gift card from Amazon, please email for some reason info@ACBN Canada. There we go. Info@ACBN Canada. Say January 24th winner of Amazon gift card, and they will get it to you.
Boom. Awesome.
So there you go. Bam.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
We got that. Let's turn off the funk music. All right, there we go. And Ryan's going, where did he find that? How did he come up with that? Like, what did he do?
I love it.
All right, so family, thank you so much for another epic conversation today. If you want to watch replays of what we do, you can catch replays of the Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube and Facebook, ACBN, Afro Canadian Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan Knight on YouTube. And whatever platform, and well, you know what? On all our platforms that we showed you, follow us on all of them, because Ryan does some stuff that I'm not a part of. I do some stuff that Ryan's not a part of, but we are communal. We're supporting each other out on this. So it's really important. There's a bunch of comments that have come in. So let me just make sure I catch everyone before they leave. All right. Yes, I know that George already won, but hey, George will take another calendar and he'll gift it. Make it happen. This makes it 2 calendars. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about people who've won twice. If you want to, but gift it to somebody. Actually, gift it to somebody. Other people need to know about the great things that Black Canadians are doing. So if you got more than one, give it away. That's a way of creating wealth. Giving something of importance away is a wealth. Frequency event promotions. George, please connect to retrieve your gift. Angie, congrats, winners. Good stuff. Angie says, thank you, Dr. Vibe and Ryan. Great show. Hey, we're just part of it. All of us made it happen. The Queens of Real Estate, all of you and us, we did it co-creatively. And have a great day, Ryan and Dr. Vibe. Great show, Charmaine. All right. I think we've got everything covered. Fantastic. Ryan's probably got a meeting to get to, so we better get off, everybody, because you know we don't want Ryan late. We don't have people mad at him. So, as always, this is what we do. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. We have Friday coming up, so don't have anyone scheduled yet, but come on Friday. But also next Monday, even though it's the day before Black History Month, mark it on your calendars, especially next Monday. We have Robert Small coming back.
Right.
The official Black History Month creator, poster creator, and also now a member of the Order of Canada. And we'll see if we can do some giveaways of some legacy, his business company legacy stuff. So I've got to touch base with them this week to see if we can get some stuff and get it for winners. So, you know, we're having a conversation. We're giving away a lot of stuff these days.
Yes. And I think tentatively Cassandra from Destra Youth Services for Friday. We're going to confirm that today.
All right. Yeah. But you know, we're giving away stuff. So thank you for the supporters like Frequency Event Promotions, Amazon. We're speaking that Robert will be able to work something out with Ryan to give something away for Black History Month. But definitely. Nice. Anything else?
No, all good.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Be well. Keep the faith. Remember to give yourselves grace. Bye.